Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to remind you of something that was placed in you before you were born: royalty. You were not born to be average. You were not designed to live your entire life serving the expectations of others, bowing to fear, or begging life to treat you better. You were born to rule. Rule over your time, your mind, your decisions, your finances, your environment, your life. But the tragedy is this: too many people have adopted the mindset of a servant in their own story. They wake up reacting, not creating. They follow trends, not purpose. They bow to pressure instead of walking in power. But the truth is, no one is coming to crown you. You have to claim your throne. A king does not ask permission to be great. A king does not apologize for dreaming big. A king does not let his past dictate his future. You were not created to be a prisoner of your circumstances. You were created to be the architect of your reality. But ruling your life doesn't mean controlling others. It means mastering yourself. That's the real throne. Self-discipline, vision, responsibility, wisdom. These are the jewels in the crown of a real ruler. So I challenge you today: stop waiting. Start reigning. Refuse to be a servant to fear, insecurity, addiction, laziness, or excuses. This is your kingdom, your life, your time. And it's time to take the throne. You were born to rule. So rise up, king. Rule your life not like a servant, but like the royalty you truly are. Absolutely, Asher. Here's an expanded version of key point number 1. You were born with royalty inside you. Stretched into 4 strong, meaningful paragraphs, still in that bold, inspiring tone. 1. You were born with royalty inside you. Before you ever took your first breath, there was greatness embedded into your DNA. You weren't created to be ordinary. You were designed to be exceptional. Inside you is the blueprint of leadership, of dominion, of impact. Royalty isn't about wearing a crown on your head. It's about recognizing the crown that's already in your mind and spirit. The tragedy is most people never discover the authority they were born with because they've been trained to believe they're common. But common doesn't flow through your veins, purpose does. Every king starts as a child. But not every child becomes a king, not because they weren't born with the potential, but because they were never told who they really are. If you grow up in an environment that teaches you to be quiet, small, and safe, you carry that mindset into adulthood and live beneath your destiny. That's how people with royal blood start living like servants, because no one ever told them they had a throne to sit on. But royalty doesn't disappear because it's unrecognized. It just lies dormant, waiting for you to wake it up. The way you see yourself will always dictate the life you allow yourself to live. If you see yourself as powerless, you'll never rise. But if you can catch a glimpse of who you truly are, chosen, gifted, called, everything changes. You begin to move differently. You stop settling for crumbs when you were born to sit at the table. Your decisions, your standards, your habits begin to reflect the identity and thought of someone who knows they carry the bloodline of visionaries, warriors, and not builders. Not physically, spiritually. Deep down, your soul knows you were made for more. That's why you feel that restlessness, that tug in your chest when you know you're not living at your full capacity, that inner voice that whispers, there's more to you than this. It's not ambition, it's inheritance. It's your royal nature calling you higher. It's the echo of who you truly are beneath all the fear, shame, and limitations you've collected from life. And until you recognize that you are not meant to serve every circumstance, but to lead with purpose, you'll continue to live below your true design. But the moment you acknowledge your royalty, everything starts to shift. Got it, Asher? Here's an expanded version of key point no. 2, don't live in reaction mode. In 4 impactful paragraphs written the same bold, empowering tone. 2. Don't leave reaction mode. Life will throw things at you, problems, people, pressure, and if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire existence just responding. Waking up late and rushing. Checking your phone and letting messages dictate your mood. Waiting for others to tell you what to do, how to feel, who to be. That's reaction mode. It's when life becomes one long game of defense and you're just trying to survive each day without really taking control of anything. But hear this clearly, you were never meant to live on the back foot. You were created to move first, speak first, act first to set the tone, not just follow it. A person who lives in reaction mode becomes a slave to circumstances. If money's tight, they panic. If someone disrespects them, they lose focus. If things go wrong, their whole identity shakes. Why? Because they've built their emotional world around what's happening outside of them. That's dangerous. Kings don't do that. Kings wake up with intention. They lead their day before the day leads them. They command their environment by commanding their spirit. You can't rule your life if you're constantly reacting to what life throws at you. You need a strategy, a plan, a focus. When you're reactive, time controls you. But when you're proactive, you control time. That means your schedule should serve your vision, not just fill up with distractions. Your energy should be spent building, not repairing. You weren't meant to just respond to problems, you were meant to prevent them. Build systems, make decisions before you're desperate. Create habits that lock in your progress. That's how kings move. They stay ahead. They live intentionally. They don't let emotions, people, or random circumstances hijack their crown. Living in reaction mode is exhausting. It will drain your spirit and rob you of momentum. And most importantly, it keeps you small. When you're always reacting, you're not growing. You're stuck. But once you realize that you can design your life, that you can wake up with purpose, protect your peace, set your goals, and move with power, that's when everything changes. You stop living like a servant to chaos and you start living like a ruler with clarity. You shift from surviving the day to commanding it. Absolutely, Asher. Here's a powerful expansion of key point no. 3. Your mindset determines your position. Brought to life in 4 impactful paragraphs, keeping that kingly, purpose-driven tone flowing. 3. Your mindset determines your position. A throne isn't just a physical seat, it's a mental state. You can't live like royalty if your mind is still in chains. Your thoughts shape your reality more than your environment ever could. That's why 2 people can go through the exact same struggle, but only one rises from it because their mindset was entrapped by the moment. They refused to bow down to what they saw and held on to what they believed. Your position in life is just a reflection of your position in thought. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think like a king, you'll move like one. The problem isn't always the world around you, it's the world inside you. If your inner dialogue is full of fear, doubt, and defeat, you'll sabotage your own success. You can have all the talent, all the opportunity, all the connections, but if your mindset says, I'm not enough, it's too late, or this is just how life is, then you'll settle. You'll shrink. You'll build a prison out of your own perspective. That's why you must guard your mindset like a fortress, because your thoughts become your throne or your trap. Kings don't see problems the way servants do. Where others see obstacles, a king sees opportunities. Where others see delay, a king sees preparation. Where others feel overwhelmed, a king feels called to lead. That's mindset. That's royalty. And it doesn't come from hype, it comes from discipline. Feeding your mind daily, challenging your limits, refusing to accept average. If you want to change your position in life, don't start with your job, your followers, or your paycheck. Start with how you think. Your mindset will either elevate you or bury you. It determines what rooms you walk into, how you speak about yourself, what risks you take, and what future you believe you deserve. So ask yourself daily, am I thinking like a king or like a captive? Am I building confidence or feeding insecurity? Because no matter where you start in life, you rise to the level of your mindset and fall to the level of your excuses. Change your mind and you'll change your position. Let's go, Ash. Here's the full expansion of key point no. 4. Nobody will crown you. You must claim your throne. 4 bold paragraphs, staying deep, raw, and empowering in that kingdom language. 4. Nobody will crown you. You must claim your throne. The world doesn't hand out thrones. Life doesn't pause to recognize your potential. And people, most are too busy fighting their own battles to notice the royalty inside you. That's why waiting for validation is dangerous. If you keep waiting for someone to see you, approve you, promote you, or anoint you, you'll waste years of your life in a holding pattern. You'll stand at the gates of your purpose, hoping someone opens them for you, not realizing you had the key the whole time. Kings don't wait to be chosen. They show up like they already are. You have to make the decision to rise before anyone claps, supports, or even believes in you. Your throne is waiting, but it's not going to come wrapped in comfort. It'll be hidden in discipline, in rejection, in lonely seasons, and in hard crises. That's why so few claim it, because it costs. It requires self-awareness, self-respect, and the guts to walk different. Crowning yourself doesn't mean arrogance, it means ownership. It means standing in your identity, even when life tries to strip it from you. People might call you crazy, they might mock your confidence, but kings are never understood by the crowd, they lead the crowd. That means sometimes you have to clap for yourself, speak life into your own spirit, and show up like you already carry the authority. Because truth is, if you don't value your crown, others won't either. No one is going to give you permission to be powerful. You give that to yourself. And once you claim it, your energy shifts, your presence changes. You don't ask for space, you create it. Every time you shrink back, hesitate, or wait for someone else to go first, you hand your throne to fear. But the moment you say, I'm not waiting anymore, I was built for this, I am this, that's when you rise. The crown isn't in someone else's hands, it's in your choices, your habits, your identity. So pick it up, place it, and walk like you belong. Because the throne was never outside of you, it's been inside you all along. Yes, Asher, this is a powerful one. Here's the full expansion of key point no. 5, a true king rules himself first. 4 strong paragraphs packed with depth and king-level energy. 5. A true king rules himself first. Before a king can govern a kingdom, he must first master his own soul. Power without control is chaos. Influence without discipline is dangerous. The most powerful throne you'll ever sit on is the one inside the throne of your own mind. Emotions, desires, and decisions. If you can't lead yourself, you'll never sustain leadership over anything else. Not your finances, your family, your future, or your dreams. Self-mastery is the foundation of all external authority. The man who cannot govern himself will eventually lose everything he's been given. The enemy isn't always out there. Sometimes it's the undisciplined thoughts, the quiet temptations, the ego, the laziness, the unchecked emotions. A true king doesn't just fight battles outside, he wins the wars inside. He knows how to say no to what feels good now so he can say yes to what matters later. He understands the weight of his words, the impact of his habits, and the power of his time. He doesn't let urges lead, he lets purpose lead. That's what separates rulers from wanderers, the ability to delay gratification for greater destiny. Ruling yourself doesn't mean perfection, it means alignment. It means bringing your mind, heart, and body into submission to the vision you've been given. It means waking up with a mission and moving like it, no wasted time, no divided focus, no loyalty to weakness. You guard your peace, protect your energy, and move with honor, not just for others, but for yourself. A king with no rule over himself is like a city with broken walls, exposed, vulnerable, and eventually conquered. But a man who rules himself is unshakable. He becomes his own kingdom first. And the truth is, the hardest throne to sit on is the one where no one's watching. When there's no applause, no pressure, no accountability, that's where kings are truly made. In the dark, in the quiet, in the decisions no one sees, that's where you build the character to carry your calling. Before you rule the world, rule your mornings. Rule your thoughts, rule impulses. That's real royalty, because once you conquer yourself, there's nothing outside of you that can ever defeat you. Yes, Asher, this is a powerful one. Here's the full expansion of key point no. 5. A true king rules himself first. 4 strong paragraphs packed with depth and king-level energy. 5. A true king rules himself first. Before a king can govern a kingdom, he must first master his own soul. Power without control is chaos. Influence without discipline is dangerous. The most powerful throne you'll ever sit on is the one inside the throne of your own mind. Emotions, desires, and decisions. If you can't lead yourself, you'll never sustain leadership over anything else. Not your finances, your family, your future, or your dreams. Self-mastery is the foundation of all external authority. The man who cannot govern himself will eventually lose everything he's been given. The enemy isn't always out there. Sometimes it's the undisciplined thoughts, the quiet temptations, the ego, the laziness, the unchecked emotions. A true king doesn't just fight battles outside, he wins the wars inside. He knows how to say no to what feels good now so he can say yes to what matters later. He understands the weight of his words, the impact of his habits, and the power of his time. He doesn't let urges lead, he lets purpose lead. That's what separates rulers from wanderers, the ability to delay gratification for greater destiny. Ruling yourself doesn't mean perfection, it means alignment. It means bringing your mind, heart, and body into submission to the vision you've been given. It means waking up with a mission and moving like it, no wasted time, no divided focus. No loyalty to weakness. You guard your peace, protect your energy, and move with honor, not just for others, but for yourself. A king with no rule over himself is like a city with broken walls, exposed, vulnerable, and eventually conquered. But a man who rules himself is unshakable. He becomes his own kingdom first. And the truth is, the hardest throne to sit on is the one where no one's watching. When there's no applause, no pressure, no accountability, that's where kings are truly made. In the dark, in the quiet, in the decisions no one sees, that's where you build the character to carry your calling. Before you rule the world, rule your mornings, rule your thoughts, rule your impulses. That's real royalty. Because once you conquer yourself, there's nothing outside of you that can ever defeat you. Here's the full expansion of key point no. 8. Rule with vision, not emotion. Keeping that regal, empowering tone that fuels transformation. 8. Rule with vision, not emotion. Emotion is powerful, but it is also deceptive. It can create urgency, stir your heart, and fill you with passion, but it can also cloud your judgment and lead you down the wrong path. A true king knows that vision is greater than emotion. Vision is the blueprint for your life. It's your purpose, your calling, your destination. Emotion, while real and valid, is temporary. It's like the weather, it changes from moment to moment. But vision is like the North Star, constant, steady and guiding you through every storm. Kings don't rule by how they feel in the moment, they rule by what they know they are meant to create. When you live by emotion, you make decisions based on how things look in the heat of the moment. You react instead of thinking. You let anger, fear, or frustration drive you. And while it's human to feel those things, a king doesn't allow them to determine his direction. A king with a vision sees beyond the immediate chaos. He understands that decisions made in haste, out of frustration or anger, will often lead to regret. Vision clarifies what emotions cannot. It tells you who you are in the midst of the storm. It tells you why you're fighting, what you're fighting for, and what the end goal looks like. Emotions will come. They'll rise and fall often unexpectedly. But a king doesn't let his emotions lead the way. He acknowledges them. But then he chooses to stay focused on the greater mission. This is why a king's vision becomes his anchor. It's what keeps him calm when others panic, determined when others quit, and unshaken when the world seems to collapse around him. Vision allows you to see past temporary discomforts and emotions to the lasting legacy you are building. In leadership and in life, you must have a vision so clear that it drives you, not your momentary feelings. When emotions rise, your vision will steady you. When frustration mounts, your vision will remind you of your purpose. When you're faced with failure, your vision will give you the strength to get back up. A king who rules with vision stands tall, while the one who rules by emotion stumbles in the fog of confusion. So make the decision today to reign with clarity and foresight, not just reactive feelings. Lead with purpose and let your vision guide your steps. Here's a strong, empowering conclusion to bring the entire speech together. Conclusion. So, what does it mean to truly rule your life like a king? It means rising above the noise, standing firm in your identity, and living with purpose every single day. It means taking responsibility for your destiny, mastering your own mind, and making decisions that align with the vision you've set for yourself. You were not born to serve life. Life was meant to serve you. You are the architect, the creator, the ruler of your future. And the moment you decide to take the throne is the moment your world begins to change. The crown doesn't come handed to you. You have to claim it. You have to protect it with your choices, your habits, and your mindset. You have to be willing to show up as the ruler you already are, not waiting for permission, not asking for approval, but owning your power every day. Because the truth is, there is no one more qualified to rule your life than you. So take a stand today and claim your throne. Lead yourself with vision, strength, and wisdom. No more excuses, no more waiting. It's time to rise. You are royalty and your kingdom is waiting. Rule it like the king you were always meant to be. This ending is meant to reinforce the empowerment from the earlier points and motivate your audience to take immediate action. Let me know if you'd like to adjust or expand any part.